Good evening. My name is John Taylor. I'm a licensed cosmetologist for 32 years. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Wow, 32 years. I was asked if I could, if I would come and give a workshop. It's a beautiful thing. First of all, my hat and my heart goes out to the families. You know, the fact that you show so much love. I mean, this is near and dear because I was raised by my grandmother and I understand. So I've been a hairstylist for 32 years. My shop is manufacturing them on the first floor downstairs. A veteran of the United States Army, got out when I was 25 to do hair. So I truly love what I'm doing. Every day I get to take my hands, my mind and equipment and create. So I just love what I'm doing. We're here to talk about hair. First of all, I want you all to understand African-American hair, Black hair, Middle Eastern hair, Caucasian hair, and we're just going to break it down. The reason the hair is the way it is, if you would take your index finger, hold up your index finger, everyone. Take your other hand and make a circle. Now that circle, keep it loose and take this index finger and go straight through. That follicle is the follicle of a Caucasian head. That's why the hair is straight. You understand? This follicle is round. The hair comes through and it's straight. If you're from the Mediterranean, the follicle is oval. So take that same finger and kind of squeeze it slightly. And now take that same finger all the way up to the knuckle and you'll see it bends. That's that curl, that looser curl, right? African-American hair, take that same hand and make it flat. Take that same finger, send it through, and you'll see that it really bends. You see it, you can feel it bending. That's the difference. That's the science. That's cosmetology. Cosmetology is the science of hair. And it's just that simple. No hair is better than the other. It's just the follicle that it grows out of that makes it the way it is. So if a child asks, why is my hair like this? Parents, you can tell them that's why, and that's the science. Got it? Now, ponytails. We're going to start off with the don'ts. Ponytails. When you brush your child's hair and put it in a ponytail and use a rubber band, wrong thing. You never want to put a rubber band in our hair. That hair will snap. That hair will get wrapped up in that rubber band. You lose hair. It's bad for it. You want to use something like this. If you can pass this around and feel the texture of it, in there, you know, they cost $1 for a band. Pass that around. And, you know, you want to use something like that. So it won't take the hair out. You can see how easy that is, how soft that is. So that's a big don't. I see that a lot. Vaseline. Never put Vaseline in your child's hair. I repeat, never put Vaseline in your child's hair. If they're a little dry, you can use Vaseline for your knuckles. Like me, my hair is in water all the time. I'll put it there and it'll moisturize it, soften. Never put Vaseline in your hair. Here are some of the tools that you can use on your child's hair. A pick. If your child's wearing an afro, kinky fro, such as yours, you want to pick the hair. You want to start from the ends and you want to work your way down. That's how you pick the hair. And also, you don't want to wet your child's hair. Make it easier to comb? No. What's going to happen, you're going to dry, just like my knuckles in the water, you're going to dry that scalp, you're going to dry that hair out. So you don't want to do that. What you want to use is a moisturizer. Something with the main ingredient, aloe or glycerin. You apply, you'll see it softens the hair right away, makes it easier to comb. We have that product here. Leave-in conditioners, if you're wearing those styles that you want to comb out and give you a natural ringlet look, that's how that's achieved. Leave-in conditioner. Again, you don't have to use these products, but this is something that I use. Leave-in conditioner, leave-in conditioner. The shampoos, motions, products, you always want to use a product that is geared, that is designed for your hair. So if you're African American, these products are exclusive to your hair type. You always want to use the system, the shampoo and the conditioner. Okay, and just read the instructions. And that's it. All those wives' tales putting mayonnaise or cutting the hair on the 3rd of June, all that is nonsense. I'm just giving I'm giving you the science. And this is the science of hair. Those fathers who like to line their children's hair up, you can take a liner in the week or two in between haircuts. You can take your liner and just trace what has already been lined. As you see, so when you're standing there watching your child get his haircut, now right now, your child is a little young to get a haircut, especially with liners, but once they reach the age of 3, 4, 5, you want to probably take them to the barbershop. I tell women and husbands or families, it's always easier to take a child when they're very young, so they get used to it. So by the time your child is 5, he's running up, getting in the chair because he already knows what it is, right? Young ladies, those of you who want to attempt to curl your hair once you're old enough, these are curling irons. These are the old-fashioned. I still use them. You place them in an oven, you heat them, you make sure it's the right temperature, and you can gauge that with the neck strip. If you put it on the neck strip and it turns colors dark, then you don't use it. Wait until it cools off. All right, so you have that. But they've invented these, so you can just plug them up. It's already, you can regulate the temperature and just get your bump, just get your curl. Got it? Those kinky looks that you see, where the hair is coily, kinky, that's achieved by using a sponge. And this is what the sponges look like. What it does, if you see these holes, you place the sponge on the hair and you just spin it. And the hair goes in the sponge and it spirals. So that's how you see a lot of the athletes, a lot of the rappers with the big kinky fro. That's a look. I mean, I'm doing it. I'll be 60 in July. So I still have a little bit of hair, but so that's how that's achieved, right? The sponge. What I want to also tell you is different hairstyles, right? Be a leader. Just be a leader when it comes to your child. You let your child wear her hair or his hair like he wants it. If he wants to wear dreads or twists or a kinky fro or brush waves short, let them do what they do. Let them be creative. Let them, enjoy being who they are, right? A lot of times you would say, like, people look at me, wow, your hair is long. Yeah, I want it longer. If you all are familiar with Maxwell, I want my hair like big kinky fro. I think that would work. But normally I would have brush waves, manicure look, real neat look. But just be yourself. You're wearing the twist, be you. Okay, nobody can be you but you. That's why I'm glad that you're able to do it. And now with what society is allowing in the workplace, you can wear braids. This is a researcher at Case. She's wearing braids. You see what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing that you can truly be who you are when it comes to your hair. And it's so important. Just simply brushing your child's hair only takes a few minutes, and then teach your daughters how to do their hair themselves. Get them in the mirror, sit in front of the mirror, put the moisturizer on, and let them brush it, ponytail, or find your hairstylist every 2 weeks or once a month, depending on the style, and let them do their thing. So it's a beautiful thing that Miss Janelle has put this together because it's needed. It's definitely needed. Is there any questions when it concerns hair? Real quick, any questions?
Like when you talked about putting the moisturizer in and combing their hair, like, do you recommend doing that every day?
No, you don't have to, when you're using a moisturizer, the main ingredient is glycerin
Okay,
and aloe. So you don't have to wet it.
okay.
Don't wet it. Once you
Okay.
shampoo the hair,
Uh-huh.
because whatever the remaining water that's in it, it's gonna dry up and it's gonna dry whatever you put in it along with it.
Okay.
So the next day, you're gonna have to put just a quarter amount, work it in your hand and then work it through the hair. So you wanna kind of not really saturate it, but just give it enough to where you work it through the hair.
And we should do
that's
this
it.
every day?
Not every day, only when needed.
Only when.
As a matter of fact, let me touch your hair. See at this limb,
Mhm.
I would cut it. I would recommend, is he at daycare?
No.
No,
Is he rolling around on carpets
just at home.
at home? Okay, so if he's around, and again, if you're around other children, ringworm is prevalent. It is highly contagious, as you know. So when you have that much hair, right now, if I was to cut his hair, I would pick it out. I couldn't see the ringworm. I couldn't see that circle that's in the scalp. I couldn't see it because of the hair. So if you keep it low, keep it enough to where you can see it. It's easy, first of all, it's easy to manage. And that way you won't spread. The problem is the ringworm is being spreaded because the child's hair is in a long ponytail.
So we're getting a lot of advice from friends, and they were saying we shouldn't cut his hair until he was 2 years old.
Why?
They said it had to fill in.
It's gonna fill in, period.
Okay, they were saying we couldn't cut his hair until he was 2,
Yeah, that's what they were.
Right. and then a lot of coconut oil is like what we're doing.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm glad we're asking, you know.
You know what it's like? It's putting water in your engine. That's what that is. It's totally wrong. It's wrong.
Instead of that, we should be using.
You can use a moisturizer.
Okay.
That's it. Keep it low. Keep the haircut low.
Well, I'm happy to hear that because our whole house is slippery right now. You know?
Okay.
I mean, it's on everything, you know, all of our clothes are, you know, it's hard. I mean, I'm much happier trying something out like that.
Yeah, just keep it low. And
So-
again, this
so-
is your child. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, what happens is these are wives' tales, right? I'm giving you cosmetology, the science. Cut the hair. Cut the hair, make it easier on them. Make it easier for you to maintain.
Right.
Just cut it. It's a done deal.
Like what length would you recommend?
I would cut it, guard one guard, about like that. You know, just cut it low.
Okay.
Cut it low. And once he gets older, if he wants to grow it out, but right now he doesn't. You wanna
Right.
make it easier for you.
Yeah.
Can you recommend places where we might take him to, or?
I can cut. I can cut them. I have
Yeah.
my cards. I can cut them. And again, this is not, I'm not doing this for the advertisement. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I've
no,
been doing it
that-
for 32
Well,
years.
for us, we have to learn.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, that's it. You know, bring them. I've worked with young kids, so it's no problem.
Okay,
It's no
great.
problem. You hold him, I take the scissors and cut it and he'll get used to me. And by the time he's 4 or 5, Mr. John, because I have a little candy. You see, I gave all y'all candy.
Oh, yeah.
You see, he knows the treat, so he knows the routine. It becomes routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to show you, this is my daughter when she goes to university, there's no hair. but
Yeah.
It just grows.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything, to show you like the more recent one of how her hair has been.
Well, it's funny because, you know, he has some like bald spots, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, maybe this takes time to grow in, but cutting it short would be.
Yeah, it's gonna grow out.
Yeah.
It's all gonna grow.
Like, he's sleeping on his back,
So,
right?
yeah.
That's why, he
Yeah.
spends so much time on the back of his
Rubbing it
head. I
off.
mean, all babies bald back there. and
Yeah.
it's Really, really common.
Yeah.
His hair will grow in and cutting it won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause my son's hair did the same thing when he
That's
was that age.
beautiful.
Yeah,
He has the little ball.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it will grow, it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't do anything, I didn't like have to do any treatments or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give you again, the science of hair.
Yeah.
If you're healthy,
Mhm.
everyone's hair will grow 1/2 inch per month. 6 inches a year.
Wow.
You shed daily, but you also regrow. 6 inches a year, period. Your hair will grow. Grows faster in the summer because of the moisturizer and the heat, slower in the winter. But your hair will grow 6 inches a year. Okay, that's the science, period. So your hair will grow.
For Victor.
No, I mean, that makes me feel so much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Girl.
How often do you recommend shampooing? And like,
There's a gland, again, this is science. There's a gland, it's called a sebaceous gland, that produces oil, sebum, which is oil. And that gland in African Americans is not as active as it is in Caucasian hair. That's why Caucasian hair, you have to shampoo it every day, daily or every 2 days. With African American hair, unless, you know, you're working out in the field in a farm or, you know, digging a ditch or something where you have to shampoo it every day. Other than that, you know, 10 days. You can go 10 days. That's why it's better to keep it shorter, keep the lint out, ticks. You know, if you have a dog, fleas, they get in that hair and it's in there, especially the rainwater. So it's important that you just keep it. Let these baby boys be boys. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women want to have that long hair and let them be a boy. Mhm. Any questions, young ladies? Any questions about your hair?
We
Anything?
have a lot of questions.
Come on, gasp.
hair growth oils, do they actually work?
Pardon?
Hair growth oils?
No, here, I'm gonna give you the science again. Your hair will grow 1/2 inch a month, 6 inches a year, if you're healthy. Slower in the winter, faster in the summer. So your hair is gonna grow. What happens is, when you massage, the reason you go to the salon and get your hair done, you shampooing, that vigorous shampoo, that brings blood to the surface, and that's what the follicles feed off of. So that's why that is. So you get the circulation, the follicles feed off the blood, the hair grows. That's it. That's the science. Anything else, all that oils, is to get you to buy these products. That's all it is. I'm telling you, that's all it is. You go to the salon, they tell you to sit under the dryer for 30 minutes with a conditioner. If you look at what the chemist said, the chemist says 3 minutes. Keep the conditioner on for 3 minutes. We say 30 minutes to have you believe you're getting something special. So therefore I can charge you for it. I mean, it says it right here, 7 minutes, 7 to 3 minutes for the conditioner. But we'll have you leave it on for 30 minutes under the dryer, right? So again, it's all about making money. So what I've done, yeah, you're gonna make your money, but I'm giving you a product that's been proven. I've been doing this for 32 years. I've been using this product for 25 years. I've been using this product for 30 years. Wave Nuvo, I've been using that for 30 years. It's still around. There's a reason why it's still around. Understand? When you curl it, if you're wearing those relaxed styles, you see how light, how it just evaporates? You don't want to put that grease and that oil and then you curling your hair, it's weighing it down. See, again, we're going by what was taught, given to us 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. They didn't know. But now we know. You see that? There it is. You could take that same oil. You have that between your hair. Now it doesn't burn. You see? That's the key.
John, I've got a question for you. Keisha is asking, since hair texture changes as the baby grows, can you talk about hair care for a newborn and how old are babies when their hair transitions to more kinky? I'm a Black woman, but I have locks and I haven't needed a comb or brush in 9 years, LOL.
Okay, with babies, it's not the texture that changes. It's the follicle that the hair grows out of. You understand? You ever see people who are cancer survivors and they've gone through chemo and they completely lose their hair, and then when it grows back, it's softer, it's a curlier, it's a looser curl. That follicle again is no longer flat. It opened up, so therefore that hair is coming out a little curly. So that baby, if you notice that soft spot, right? That follicle is not fully grown. It hasn't flattened yet. So it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know, so just tell her, keep the hair as short as possible, make it easier on you. So when you get up and you gotta go to work, you have to go to work, make it easier on you, because right now, your child doesn't know what's on his head. You know what I'm saying? Really doesn't know. You wanna make it easier for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the best hairstyles for active kids? So I've been told to continue to do protective hairstyles. My 9-year-old wanted a silk press.
Oh,
last,
no.
last month, and we did a silk press, and within 30 minutes of the silk press, went.
What did it?
Let me tell you this, leave the silk presses alone.
Yeah,
Leave it alone. Every silk press client I've seen, I don't even do them. I don't even do them. I've waited to see just what was happening. This lady came in a month, I'm like, oh God, look at your hair. And I touched it and I'm like, that's a little fragile. Sure enough, it snapped. Hair's gone, done. So leave the silk presses
so
alone.
much heat, yeah,
Leave the silk presses alone because you're applying a coating,
right.
right? You're applying a coating. Anytime you do something,
And it
That's
hurt,
not
it
natural.
hurt her.
Pardon?
Like, the process of it hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, she can go natural. Are you swimming? Is that the sport?
she wants to start swimming, they're gonna start gymnastics and,
Okay.
yeah.
The
They love
corn,
biking, going to the playground, love to be out in the elements and
Okay.
all of that, so,
the braids are good.
yeah.
The braids, what you're doing now, the
Yeah.
braids are good and possibly, you know, take away that bun, braid it all the way to the end, find a style where you can braid it and all the hair is braided.
Yeah.
You
'cause that
understand? So-
protects it even more,
Yeah,
cause every morning we spend time looping it up,
See?
and then by the end of the day, it's mushed again.
so if it's braided, you won't have to worry about it,
Yeah,
especially now she's active.
Can you
Yeah.
speak to chlorine now with pools? Like, is there anything to do?
You want to rinse it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to rinse that chlorine out. Every time you swim, you want to rinse it out. Right? So unless you, and if you can, every time you shampoo your hair, always condition. Every time, don't just shampoo it and not put a conditioner in. Okay, always do that. So if you're swimming, you want to shampoo your hair out, get that chlorine out.
I also heard you're supposed to maybe get it wet before you get in the pool, because it like repels the chlorine. I don't know if that's true or not, but okay,
No, because once it gets wet, it's wet.
okay,
The chlorine's in there.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, what she's wearing now. I like, you know, just maintain it on a regular basis. That's good.
Yeah.
Any questions, baby girl?
Mhm.
You know, okay, you like your hair? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
It's beautiful.
Outstanding, outstanding. What grade are you
Third.
in? Third, okay, third grade. Right now, you wanna come up
Okay.
and she's gonna talk to you about braid.
Hi, so again, like I said, a parent, with a, almost 3-year-old daughter. And then I used to braid. And I think for me, coming here, I think one of the things that I just wanted to communicate is that doing our hair is a lot of work. It takes a lot of efforts. Even for me that I know how to do it, it's still a lot. Like if you have like 2 girls and you want to wash their hair on the weekend, you can do that the whole day. Just washing it out, shampooing, conditioning, making sure that you are twisting it. One of the things that I do with my daughter, I never just wash it and just let it go, because if you leave it and it dries, it's another chaos. So even if I cannot do it that day, I try to, you know, pat it into like big sessions and just like twist it out for the night. And then maybe the next day when I have time, I can do it. Because once you just leave it, then it's like tangles again. And then like trying to do it again becomes another hassle with them. So, I mean, that's something that I wanted to share. Braids, I mean, I do French braids. I don't, for my own personal preference, I don't put hair extension in her hair. She's just 3, so I feel like she's too young until when she's like old enough. So I try to just use her own hair to do stuff for her. And like I said, I work full time, so I cannot do it every morning. So I try to do things that would last a little longer. When I do French braids, she can keep it for a while. Then sometimes I twist it out. I twist it for hair for a couple of days as well. So those are things that like I try to do just to, keep her going for a little bit, so I don't have to do it every day, because it's a lot. Like, even for me, sometimes when I don't have my braids in and I wake up in the morning to go to, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to figure out. It's like you need more time to get ready. So I like to have something in. And I think most people sometimes like, how long should I keep in the braids? How long can I keep it in? Some people can keep their braids in longer, like 2 months, but it's also like messes up the hair the longer you keep them in. So if you can do like French braids for these kids, you can do like 4 weeks, if that helps, and then you take them out. I try to also like let the hair rest a little bit in between, so that it's not like back to back braiding all the time. So that's like things that I do like for her, just to, let the hair breathe a little bit, then do something different. And she loved getting her hair done. I think your point that like when you start them at kids, they kind of grow with it. I think she's loved doing it, and so she sit through. But there are also kids who would not sit through doing their hair. I think that's also normal. I think knowing your child and knowing like what works for them, because I think it's also like horrible when a child is like screaming and like it's like you're pinning them down. It's just a whole hassle. I think figuring out like what works and like getting them at the right time. Like my daughter, for instance, usually if I would do her hair on the weekend, Saturday morning, like when she wakes up and eats breakfast, she's more relaxed rather than waiting to the end of the day. So like identifying like what times works for them, when are they more like rested, what kind of things like is it better to engage them to do it? That helps, yeah. And if you have somebody who can do it, it's expensive. I mean, even for me as an adult, it's like it's a lot of money to go to a salon all the time. So I think figuring out like simple things that you can do. And I think as they grow, engaging them too, and like, hey, can you like showing them and letting them. I mean, there's so many like things on YouTube that you can see how they're taking care of hair, they're taking care of their baby's hair. And so I think those getting them engaged also makes them like excited about like caring for their hair and loving their own hair and feeling a part of it.
The most exciting thing ever, because they got to wash and condition their hair for the first time. This within the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they were so excited, and I want to, continue to teach them and learn while they're learning.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah, my sister has 3 foster daughters too, so she can braid, but it's like if she just braids in their hair, it's like all day, 2 days. Yeah, they're a twin and then an older sister. So I think just wanted you to know that even for me as a Black woman, it's a lot of work to do. So it's not just because you don't have that hair or you cannot do it. Even when you know how to do it, it's still time intensive and a lot of commitment.
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
What happens to the hair if you leave the braids in too long?
So if you leave them too long, what happens is that your edges, like that's one thing that you see a lot of people who've lost their edges, because it's like the braids, once you leave them too long, it start building up like debt, and then it's like too heavy on the hair strands, and then it's like start pulling out of your hair.
Breaking the hair.
Breaking the hair. And then when you take them out, because it's been in too long, the braided stuff is also like tangled. So now you got to separate it, and like you got to take out more hair. So that's the problem. And then also some people wash their braids. I don't wash my braids. That also can also mess up your hair.
Yeah, I have heard mixed opinions on that. Like to wash them, to not, because some people get more buildup and more flaking than others. And so I think the tendency is to want to wash that. But then that moisture gets trapped in the braid, and then you're getting like that moldy kind of, it's the moisture trapped in there, and then it'll stink.
Are you doing anything to like moisturize the scalp, like when the braids are in, or?
Yeah, you could. If you can put some of the conditioner, if you need to like moisturize, you can do that. And then sometimes like I just brush around it. I mean, some people also use like edge control to like lay the fronts, but I mean, I think all those makes it fancy, but it's also like building up a lot of like chemicals and products in there when you don't have the opportunity to wash it that regularly. So So
do you typically not wash or put additional product in your hair once it's braided?
Usually, like if I do this, I don't, but my daughter, because I don't put hair extension and it's their own hair,
Yes.
I can put in like conditioner, like, yeah.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah, if it's their own hair, I do put in like conditioner just to make it so that it's not too dry. But when I have like braids with hair extension, unless like I want to like wipe it a little bit and yeah, but I don't try to put a lot of chemical. Again, I also don't keep it in for too long. So that is the balance. Like if you keep it in too long, then you start looking in a way that you want to wash it and clean it. And then, yeah.
So what would, and I know it depends on the size of the braids, but what would you recommend? Like what's too long?
I feel like anything after 2 months, it's getting too long.
Yeah.
Ideally, I think 4 to 6 weeks. And again, I think with the braids too, I mean, these ones that I have are bigger. The smaller braid, the more smaller they are and the more tighter, the more it's pulling on your hair and then the breaking, yeah. So I think figuring out a balance of like, or sometimes like the hairstyle looks nice, but then it's also pulling the edges. And then by the time you take them out, you lose all your fronts, like, yeah, your baby hair and everything. Yeah.
I have
And
one of my
if I
daughters.
could just
No,
chime
go
in,
ahead.
you mentioned if there's dandruff, if you have dandruff, then your stylist, or if you don't have a stylist, you would go to your dermatologist. Because all dandruff is bacteria,
No.
right? That's
Yeah.
bacteria in your hair and your scalp. So what you want to do is eliminate that and then go from there.
Right.
So whatever you're dealing with, clean it up and then go from there.
Right. That's good. There was another question. How do you prepare the hair to be braided?
So for my daughter, if I have to, usually I do shampoo and then I condition. Again, she's little, so I don't apply heat. I try not to apply heat. So usually if I'm not braiding it right away, I would like section it out into like 4 big or like 8 and then twist it out. And usually when you do that, once it dries out and then you take the twist out, they're almost usually straight enough to like easily navigate and then braid. It is when you leave it like just like the afro after you wash, that's when you try to braid, then you have to straighten it so it can look fine. But if they are older, you can like blow dry it so that I can straighten up a little bit to make it easy. It's easier when it's blow dried or straightened before you braid. So some people prefer it that way. Yeah, but for me, usually like I try to like wash and then braid whatever I want to braid like right away. And if I can't, I do the big sessions the next day or two, take it out and try and then braid it. Now I try not to add so much chemicals when I braid. I know now like a lot of people add so many things when they braid. It makes it look nice, but again, it's also building too much chemicals in there. So it's just a balance of like, you can use it, but don't use too much of it. Yeah.
Also, I didn't mention chemicals, the use of chemicals. At their age, you don't want to ever put any relaxer in their hair. Even as teenagers, I would suggest, to be honest, never, because you can straighten the hair with the curling iron, blow dry, flatten it out with the heat. I would, if I had a daughter, I would never put, and I'm in the industry, and that's money to be made by doing relaxers. But I would just know that if you put a relaxer in your hair, the chemical action is the sodium hydroxide will swell up the hair. You have that kinky hair, it swells it up, and as it gets bigger, it straightens out. So it no longer can go back to that kinkiness until it grows out. So the hair is damaged, but we're able to maintain it. We're able to maintain it. We can shampoo and condition, but you don't want to constantly keep putting that relaxer in the hair. I'm anti-relaxer. But if you choose to, those of you who wear it, just know that it is damaging. And there's been a class action case now with relaxers, how, it's causing all kinds of issues. So if you have a young child, leave the relaxers alone, at least until they're old enough to make that decision, right? Even with the locks, let the child make that decision on their own, because it's working locking hair. right? There's also a component we wanted to talk about is the culture. If you look around, you'll see pictures. You'll see sculptures. You'll see masks, right? Everything that you see is from my house, except the Grace Jones picture and the salon picture. That's in my salon. If you see that salon picture, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? When you see that picture of that salon, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Fun.
Fun. She's
Fun, okay. What else? do you see?
Community,
Unity,
community.
community, okay, community, okay. Anything else? When they say pictures say 1,000 words, you see that, what is it saying to you?
Rain wants to say peace.
Peace, all right, good. When you look at it, what do you see? What pops in your head?
I see self-care.
Self-care, okay,
Grace,
what's that?
grace,
Grace,
grace.
grace,
Great.
okay. Grace, all right. So that picture, when I see it, first of all, there's no faces. If you notice that, there's no faces, right? There's no nose, eyes. So it's, you know, I like that the artist left that up to you. But when you see that, if you're walking into someone's home and I'm African American and I see that, I see me. Whatever complexion you are, you see it there. Whether you're light or dark as me, you see it, right? So now your child can look at something that's in the wall, on their walls every day. Say, that's me. There I go. I'm right there. This picture here. Father, mother, daughter. She's wearing a bun just like this, except this one. This is you. This is you. You see the dreads, the kinky fro. So these images, Grace Jones, this is the reason why I'm doing hair today. I was coming out of my Jerry curl and I saw this poster. I said, wow, look at that Sergeant Carter haircut. Those of you who remember Gomer Pop. I said, wow, I'm gonna cut my hair like that. And that was the beginning of me cutting hair. I was that kid on the porch cutting hair. This is Senegalese, right? From Senegal, and I'm like, wow, this is nice. This is us. This is who we are. This is culture. This is African culture, which is my culture, right? Same here. From Senegal. Same thing, Sankofa. The same thing. This me. What do we do with this? We store
drink
water. We carry water, right? Look how nice that is. To carry water is something that looks so nice. Again, this is you. This is you. So I say that to say it's good to have images for your children. So your children can see people who resemble. I was just telling my sister the other day, my sisters were going crazy over this guy. They was looking at this album and I'm trying to peep in. I'm like, who are they talking about? Oh, this guy, he's fine, he's cute, he's just. So once they left, I tiptoed in the room and I picked up the album. It was Teddy Pendergrass. And I'm saying, wow. So I turned the album around and put it up to my face. I said, well, I resemble Teddy Pendergrass. If Teddy's fine, then I'm fine. So that helped my self-esteem, right? I mean, because I'm like, I resemble Teddy Pendergrass. So my self-esteem went up. You couldn't tell me nothing because I resemble Teddy Pendergrass. You see what I'm saying? So those images are so important. They really are. So if you don't have any art, get you a piece. You can go to any of those African stores and pick up whether it be statues, masks, paintings. Just go to your local, gallery and find a piece or have the baby look at a piece and say, how do you like that? We'll put that in your room or we'll put it in the hallway. So they can see somebody that resembles. And again, it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. I love it, truly love it. I have so much love for you all. But our babies, when they see it, because every time I see this, I'm like, man, I didn't grow up with my father. I didn't grow up with him. But to see that, that's how it's supposed to be. Father, mother, child. Look how close that is. Here it is. Period. Whether your mother is Caucasian, your father is Caucasian, doesn't matter. It's father, mother, child. But when your child sees this, they see themselves. I see your twisted hair, I see hers. You see what I'm saying? You happen to wear twists today, and that print is twisted. I love it. So yeah, so any other questions? About the culture, what about the food? Grits? Does anyone prepare grits? Collard greens? Cornbread? Cabbage? Smothered chicken? Smothered pork chops? That's the culture. I love Italian food. I'm a linguine eating something, you know? So I love it, and I love Asian food. You see what I'm saying? So hey, it's a cultural exchange. That's all we're saying. It's a cultural exchange. Feed those babies a little bit of grits. Let them know this is what you eat. You know. So yeah, I love it. I love it. Any other questions?
No, I mean, for us, it's mostly, you know, when we do bathing, we do, you know, comb his hair, the very ends curl, they break off.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah,
people
it's hard
notice
to
a
get it
lot of
combed through
broken
his
hair.
hair.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's because I don't know if it's too long, but I feel it's hard to, you know.
So you start at the end first and work your way down.
Okay.
And, you know, we've tried a whole bunch of different comb styles, and I don't feel like we've really gotten something that works well.
A looser comb or pin. You see the separation in that?
Uh-huh,
And you want to start at the very end
gotcha.
and then work your way down. You see?
Okay.
Because if you come from the roots, it's not going through. Because remember those coils, and you're trying to pull through those coils.
Right, okay.
If there's any questions, I have my card. I'll give you my card. Feel free to call me. Whatever it is. You know, there's never a dumb question. You know, whatever it is, I'm here for it.
How often, like, would we get his hair cut?
At that age, I would take it low,
Uh-huh.
and that he should be good for a good 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks.
3 to
Okay.
4 weeks. You want to keep it low,
Mhm,
and because it's going to grow in, that hair is going to grow in, and
mhm,
it's easier on you. Take it as low as possible, make it easier on yourself, because
mhm,
it's going to grow in.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
going to grow in.
Okay.
I didn't say anything to them, Owusua, about braiding, but I know do you mind if I share that with them?
Yeah.
So we initially connected because she reached out saying, I really wanna just bless families who might need somebody to braid their hair. And so she's willing to help with that as schedule permits.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can connect you guys and if that's something that you want some help with.
Yeah, and I was just telling, you know, I did, one, a kid's hair, and just before I came here, my daughter had a skating lesson, and I never said, she actually came to hug me.
He's my
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, I'm doing her hair again actually this Sunday. So, yeah, just reach out and yeah, again, I know it's a lot of work. And I used to braid. I don't have the time to like make it like a profession anymore, but I'm definitely looking to support families, like if you need. Like the last time I did her hair, it was her birthday. So things like if there's a birthday coming up or something, and you know, or you just want them to have like a special hairstyle.
Like a driver's license picture.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
That is very
Yeah.
important.
So yeah, Janelle has my information, so you know, always like reach out and then we will schedule something.
You can just connect with me and I'll connect you guys. Could we talk really briefly about skincare as well?
Okay, well, you definitely, you know, every time you take a bath, you want to moisturize. So you can get a moisturizer, especially, you know, well, I guess that's across the board. But if your child is darker, like I said, I can't put my hands in water without it ashing off. So you want to put moisturizer every time, especially in the winter. It's like my knuckles will actually bleed if I don't put some type of moisturizer on. So you definitely want to do that. Just moisturize. You know, when you're in the bath, when you're taking a shower, get you a scrubby and work that. Get you a loofah and work that. So that'll take that skin off and moisturize. That's the key.
Yeah.
Moisturizer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just know that was like a, woo, your kid will get made fun of real quick if they're ashy.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a cultural thing,
Yeah.
like, if other black kids saw. It took one time for my daughter to get made fun of for her elbows, and that was it, like,
Yeah.
she didn't go anywhere without her lotion, nowhere.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because, you know, you just realize like, oh, this isn't okay, you know, and so, you know, it's a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. How does it feel to have a mom that's Caucasian? How does that feel to you?
All right.
Is that all you know? Is your mom like, how old were you?
Yeah.
2.5, so that's all you know, that's your mom. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So you have no issues. No issues, just wow. You know, when you're walking in a room, when I was in Boise, I did the same thing. I did the same thing I'm doing today. And Boise, they were really working on diversity because of their past. They had the Aryan Nation, Northern Idaho, but Boise was just like Cleveland to Cincinnati. It was at the South, considered the high desert. And so they brought me in along with a Hispanic American and a Native American, and we had to talk about art. And so the art director of art saw the artistry in hairstyles, you know, the hair shows, all these flamboyant hairstyles. So I said, yeah, I do that. So I asked the one, it was only one Black girl there. And I asked her, do you have any questions? So I'm waiting for her to, I'm here for you. And she didn't say anything. So, you know, I'm in the hallway, I'm talking to the teacher. I said, is that young girl, the young Black girl, is she always that quiet? She says, no, she told me that she felt put on the spot. She felt embarrassed. I said, embarrassed? Why? Why did she said she didn't want to, that she was trying to fit in.
Yes.
And now you pulling me out. You know, I'm already in, I'm in the group, and now you're pulling me out. So that's why I asked that question. How are you feeling? If there's anything that I can do. Because see, I'm a hairstylist, but also I'm a community activist. I have a mentoring program, Champion Mentoring, 16 years in existence. And we go into the schools in Cleveland and we mentor. We've been doing it for 16 years. And so when I see a young Black girl, and I'm wondering like, what's going on in your head, along with our young Black boys, what's going on? If there's anything that I could do to help you, if I could work with your parents, whatever I could do, I'm here for you. Because I know it's hard, period. I've raised a 21-year-old son. It was hard, straight A student, good attitude, no problem. But there was a lot of stuff that could have, if I had allowed it. So that's why I'm saying, you know, just continue to do what you're doing. Your mom's doing a great job. Your mom is doing a great job because you feel comfortable. The love is there. I tell you, I get emotional sometimes because you know, when it comes to kids, I've dedicated my life. Anybody that knows me knows, you know, when it comes to children, that's why I jumped at this opportunity to work. Maybe there's something I could say, maybe there's something I could show you all to keep your self-esteem, keep it high, you know, because when I was growing up, being dark wasn't cool. Wasn't cool. Only until my grandmother said, you are who you are, because that's who you are. So love who you are, because that's who you are. And that was it. That's all I needed. So nobody can tell me, again, I look like Teddy Pendergrass. So I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, just anything that I could do for the families, whatever it is, I'm here. Any questions? I'm here. You know, I've dedicated my life working with the youth and families, you know, so Again, my hat's off to you. I'm gonna give y'all an applause because this is a beautiful thing. This is a
Thank
beautiful
you so
thing.
much.
No, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for the
Really
opportunity.
appreciate you guys being here. Thank you.